Welcome back to the channel. What's going on, guys? Every once in a while, I like to do a video talking about the guns I actually carry and the stuff that I carry with me, because it's kind of a evolving game as I get different gear in, change things, just so you can see what I'm actually carrying, filming this in the third quarter of 2024. I do want to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is the Ridge. And I know you guys like to fast forward through the promotion, but it's a sweepstakes this time, so you're going to want the details from that, so be sure to watch. And thank you to the Ridge for sponsoring the video. And first, let me honor the dads in the crowd before we talk about a dad EDC with this joke. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot. Before we dive in, I typically carry my wallet, keys, phone, knife, and some kind of gun. And the gun will be based around whatever environment that I find myself in. I generally like to carry the biggest gun I can because I'm a gun guy and I enjoy guns. I'm also a pretty big dude. You guys always, when you meet me in person, you're like, you're much bigger than I thought you were. Like, I'm a big dude. I'm 6'4". So I can carry whatever I want. And generally, I like to carry the biggest gun feasible. So start with keys and wallet. I actually do use the Ridge wallet and key case. I know you guys are sick of hearing it, but this is not the fancy one that they give me to show you guys in videos. These are the ones I carry with me literally every day. I really like the way the wallet rides in the front pocket. It saves you on back pain. So if you take nothing else away from this video, dads, just get a wallet for your front pocket. Don't ride with them in your back pocket anymore. It's not good for your back. The key case is nice because it cleans up your pocket and keeps you from getting poked by keys and eliminates the key jingle. So those are both really cool. The other thing that I have with me always in my car, but not on my person, is a med kit with a trauma kit for Stop the Bleed. I, like many of you guys, thought I would never need those kinds of items, but I have witnessed a gentleman shoot himself in the foot in person, and that changed my outlook on everything. So I now have all the Stop the Bleed stuff in my car and at the range with me. If you practice gun manipulations on the range by yourself, it's probably in your best interest to have that kit with you all the time. Next are the knives. And I have two knives that I kind of cycle through. Really, it's kind of this knife is really kind of the one that I have sort of gravitated towards. It is a We Knife is the name of the company, WEKNIFE. And I met these guys at SHOT Show. They gave me this knife, which is their Reaver. This is the limited edition with titanium scales. These knives are not cheap, so if you like fine blades, these are really good for the value. Like, these are titanium scales with kind of this like burnished copper sort of look to them. Very steampunk looking, I like how it is. But I really like Tonto blades because they're heavy enough to cut really well. And, you know, I like blades that have a little bit of heft to them because the clip will usually catch on something. If the blade is too lightweight, it'll lift out of my pocket and I lose the darn thing. So, and that said, this is a Civivi knife, Civivi, made by the same people who do We Knives. And this is a black Damascus steel blade. I did drop it and break the tip on it, which is sad, but it's still a stupid nice knife. This is much more affordable. You can get the Damascus knife for just north of about $100. So that's pretty cool. That said, all they get used for really is opening Amazon boxes, because if you've got a wife like mine, you open a lot of Amazon boxes for the kiddos. Now it's time to talk about the guns, but first I want to tell you about the sweepstakes that the Ridge has going on. You could win a 24 karat gold plated Cybertruck, a Hennessy Velociraptor, or a box full of money. That's right, $100,000 cash. If you use my link to go to ridge.com/humble, you can get entered to win in their annual sweepstakes. Each dollar you spend on the website gives you another chance to win, and if you buy any of the Cybertruck or Hennessy branded stuff, you get 4 times as many entries. Ridge makes a whole bunch of really cool stuff. We already talked about the key case and the wallet, but they can get suitcases, rings, all sorts of cool stuff over there. So use ridge.com/humble and see what they've got on offer at the sweepstakes, because time is running out. So be sure and check that out. And let me know in the comments whether you'd pick the Cybertruck, the Velociraptor, or that pile of money, and I'll put my answer in the comments as well. Good luck, and may the odds be ever in your favor. I'm really clever. I just came up with that on my own. Totally didn't steal it from a terrible teen girl movie. Fantastic. All right, the first category of pistol, and I don't actually have it out here with me because I'm waiting for a pocket holster for it, is the pocket gun. And I typically carry this when I have wool slacks in an environment where I absolutely cannot be printing. So I don't really find myself in that environment very often. So there is not many occasions where I actually do use my pocket carry. But my pocket carry is the new Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380. I released a review on that. You can watch the full-length video. It's a great gun, but there are some issues with it that you should know about, so you can check out that video. Next up is what I call a skinny 9. It is a micro compact, I guess you would call it. It's not that small, but what it is a slimline compact. This is the Hellcat Pro Comp with a black point tactical holster. The Hellcat has the port at the front, so it actually tames kind of carry ammunition and hotter ammo pretty good. It's called a compensator, although it looks more like a port, but the gun is exceptionally accurate. It's got 15+1 rounds. Very useful for what I'm going for. The holster honestly isn't my favorite. They sent this with the original Hellcat Pro when that video went live. But it is good enough, so I haven't felt like I needed to spend money. That said, I do have holsters on order for that new P365 Fuse that I reviewed a while back. It's going to be replacing this gun as soon as the holster shows up. That gun has been brilliant for me. It's got more barrel velocity, and so the ammo hits harder, which is the whole point of carrying it. The Hellcat Pro Comp is an awesome gun as well. I just prefer kind of the longer muzzle of the P365 for how it's going to make the gun behave in my belt, so there's that. The next size gun is going to be the compact size gun. So compact that had been my go-to for a very long time is the Beretta PX4 Storm from Langdon Tactical Technologies with the RDO cut. This is another 15+1 gun. It is a double single gun, and this is the gun or the size of gun that I carry the most, and you'll notice that it is a double single. If I could get a double single slimline gun, I would, but right now there just really aren't a lot of good options for those slimline guns that have hammers and external safeties or anything like that. I prefer, as part of my risk mitigation strategy of carrying guns around a family, I like to have guns that have some form of complication, a heavier pull weight due to a longer trigger reach on a double action, single action gun, is a fail-safe in case, the kids were to get into the safe, or I would be an absolute knucklehead and leave a gun laying around. They can't necessarily pull the trigger because they don't have the hand strength or they can't reach it. So that's part of the reason I really like the double single, but the rotating barrel on this makes it absolutely enjoyable to shoot. It's wonderful. This is actually a full-size PX4 holster from JM Custom Kydex in Bells, Texas. They do a real good job. I really like this. I think it's called like a Wing Claw or Wing Claw 2.0. I can't remember, but it's a fantastic holster. Does a really good job. I've got the wing on it as well as the pad to kind of make it sit back into me. But recently, for working on another video, I have another gun that I've been carrying in this same kind of weight class, size class, if you will, and it is the Kimber KDS-9C. Now, again, I like single action only guns as well. This has a manual safety, so it's like a manual transmission of a gun. Kind of follows my extra complication where it's not just grip it and rip it as far as mitigating risk with the kids around. The KDS-9C rail is a wonderfully good gun. I actually really like the size. It's a little bit longer in the muzzle, so I like the way this holster from TXC holsters kind of rides in the waistband, but I find them very comparable, and I will probably be doing a shootout between these two guns to determine which is going to occupy my carry slot for the compact size gun. And finally, the full size gun that I like to carry the most when it makes sense is the Bull Armory Tac 4 1/4. Now, I've had this since I think 2021, maybe 2022. I've had this gun for a long time. It's got the same RM. This is my very first RMR that I bought. And I really like the way that the grip on the Bull Armory guns kind of lands in the hand. Again, it's got a manual safety, which is that extra step of complication that I'm looking for. It's lights out accurate. It shoots amazingly well. It's just a wonderful gun to shoot. I actually took the magwell off and got a shorter pin for it for the mainspring housing, and don't carry it with a magwell so it conceals a little bit better. This gun is actually the only gun that is not 15 rounds. It actually has a 19+1 magazine, so it has a metric ton of firepower. That said, it is summertime, and this sticks out like a sore thumb even in the Priority 1 holster that I carry it in with the Wing Claw and the pad on it. It's just a really big gun, and in summer with, thinner clothes, it's just a little bit too much. So that is my 2024 gear. Let me know what you're carrying these days in the comments, or if you want to do the boating accident joke, that's okay too. If you've made it this far and you want to see the video on the Kimber KDS-9C rail, the 1,000 round review, I'll put a link to it here, and it's not even published on the channel yet. So there you go.